Hey everybody, it's Jochen Hyde, and then I'm back with the Desert Wolf with his. Okay, let's try this again. Desert Wolf versus Wirraway Ace. This is the 1 November comment replay. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. This is the day after now the invasion of Tarawa, which went very well. So it'll be interesting to see what the follow-on activities are from that. Skipping through some stuff here. All right, so there's actually more mines at Tarawa than I thought. Good thing he had the wherewithal to bring in minesweepers with that invasion task force. Okay, so there was no night bombing. And no night strikes, no bombing, no night bombing. Okay, let's see if there's any kind of submarine activity this turn. Right, so no sub-activity yet. It appears that nobody's looking to get into any fights on the ocean today. Okay, here we go. We'll see some bombing now. Alright, so Wirraway, our Japanese opponent, sent some zeros to sweep Tarawa. And if I draw a line from this, I would say it came from past Makin. Alright. So typically when you sweep over a target like this, it's because you're going to attack it. So we'll see what he does with this. Quite a bit of sweeps. Alright, now we got to sweep over this. This is like a isolated unit out in the middle of nowhere here. Okay, this appear to be some leftovers coming in Tarawa. Okay, looks like some Bettys at a Christmas Island are hitting the Cocos Islands in the Indian Ocean. Not much to show for it. Okay, so it looks like he's attacking this isolated allied unit out here in the middle of nowhere. That terrain's going to be helping them from getting hurt too bad. Alright, big bombing raid coming out here at this hex in between Kung Chang and Lanchow. My guess is that Wirraway's finally going to attack this turn on the ground. Alright, decent casualties there. Right, another attack. Looks like some more leftover sweeps. We really sent a lot of aircraft there to sweep. I don't know why. Okay, another bombing raid. Diminishing returns on that. More sweeps. This is a pretty big raid, and it's directed not at Tungi, but at Pegu. Now, he should get some decent casualties from this, because Pegu, I believe, is clear terrain, which means that there's not as much land for the Japanese to hide in. Let's see what he gets. Yep. Pretty decent numbers there. That's quite a bit of disabled units. Okay, got some stragglers coming in here. Interestingly, no resistance by the Japanese. Neither of these guys seem particularly keen on flying cap missions at all. It's either long-range cap or sweeps. They don't really fly cap. Just a lot of recon. Okay, got some stragglers coming in to bomb these guys again down here. Not much to show for it. And another sweep. Why is he sweeping so much there? He must be really concerned about American or Allied fighter intervention in this hex, but it's so far north, I just don't see the point. But hey, better to be careful than not, right? Well, there's AM phase. Nothing too crazy going on. Just a lot of recon missions right now. Oh, okay. We got some, looks like some B-24s, B-25s rather, coming in from Tabatuea on Makin. So it does appear that he may be looking at Makin as his next target. Decent hits there. Wow. Surprisingly high casualties from just 24 B-25s. And they're not even bombing that low. We get a little snapshot as to what it is he's got there. It looks like the 51st and the 23rd Naval Guard unit. If that's all he's got there, he's in for some trouble when these guys from Tarawa pack up and head that way. A lot of recon missions right now. Just recon. That's it for the PM phase. Oh. We skipped right into land combat, and I've been yelling at Wirraway to make this attack for days. I think he'll carry the entire hex. What do you think? I'm gonna hit the fast forward button. Let's see what goes down here. Oh, he's getting it. He's getting it. Is he gonna carry the whole thing? I think he might. Oh, he doesn't. Wow. Okay. So the Japanese attack here and have pretty good results. Casualties are low. And the casualties for the Allies are very, very high. But he does not break through. A few units are still hanging on by a thread in his hex. So of the 9 units that were there, it looks like 6 retreated into Lanchow and 3 are left. So it won't take much more for the Japanese to break through here. Alright, we got a bombardment attack here again in the same old hex we always talk about. To me, this is a waste of supply because he's not going to inflict any reasonable amount of damage on these guys with what he's got there. And there you go. Hardly worth the supply that he burned to do this. Okay, the Allies bombarded Tangi, and personally, I don't think that's the best idea. I don't think they're going to get much out of this. Let's find out. There you go. So the Japanese defense is now stronger than the Allied offense again. Wirraway's gotten more reinforcements in there, and if anything, the Allies just burned supply and lost a couple guns. That's all they have to show for that. Wow, that's it. So that's the end of this turn. This shouldn't take long at all to analyze. And usually when you have a busy day like yesterday, you're going to have a period of reconsolidation, especially for the Allies, right? They have to get kind of rested up in Tangi. They've got to pick up all the pieces from the invasion of Tarawa, reset, restock, and get ready for the next push. So there'll probably be a little bit of a lull in the fighting while they do that. Ooh, Washington is at Los Angeles taking taken out of commission, and we see a lot of destroyers doing the same. It appears that DesertWolf is looking to upgrade a lot of these ships here, and he might as well. There's so little activity on the sea, he doesn't even need all these ships out at sea right now. See what kind of reinforcements he gets. All right, a ship at Cape Town. Ooh, a naval construction battalion at Port Hueneme. That'll be really good. Those are always great for terraforming bases. Okay, this shouldn't take long at all to analyze. It's a pretty quick turn. Okay, this should be a short and sweet one today. We've only had some combat in a few distinct areas, so let's just get right into it. So aircraft losses today, 2 for the Allies, 0 for the Japanese. A marked decrease in sorties for both sides today. Well, oh, I take that back. For the Japanese, they're flying about almost a third of what the Allies are flying. So I guess that stands the reason why there'd be less losses. The Allies lost 2 C-47 Skytrains. I assume these are on supply missions. And I always have noticed, even in my campaigns, that there's always high losses with the transport planes. They just get tore up on these missions. All right. So looking at the Army loss points, they went up pretty substantially for the Allies this turn with the blowout in, in China, south of Lanchow. Last turn, no ships sunk. There's been hardly any naval activity. And the Japanese went up just a little bit here in a score. So we'll just dive right on into it. In this phase of the war, the combat's really isolated to 3 main areas, right? We've got northern China, Burma, and the Gilbert Islands. And here in China, Wirraway was able to have a very successful attack here in north of Kungchong, south of Lanchow. Granted, he's attacking on mountainous terrain, which makes it harder for him. The Allies have a ×3 defense multiplier here, but even still, their units are out of supply, as you can see here, and they're fatigued and disrupted. So it's not going to take much for them to get pushed through. And as we saw, the Japanese had a very successful attack, and they blew out 6 of the 9 units that were in the hex. So if they attack one more time next turn, I'm pretty confident, due to the lack of supply here, they'll push through this as well. And then they can begin their final drive onto Lanchow. And once they do that, I don't really see much need of pushing much further than that, unless they're really looking for some extra points, because I do see quite a bit of troops to the north, which could make it a bit difficult to get further than Lanchow. But this is really the jewel of the area right here. The Japanese keep stubbornly attacking here, or bombarding, and again, with the exception of draining maybe some supply out of here, they're not doing any real damage to the unit itself. So I just don't see them breaking through, even with the supply issues being what they are. This is a transit thing. It comes and goes. Some turns you'll see the supply being low. Sometimes you'll see the supply being high. It just really depends. But I don't see them breaking through here without a miracle or a really sustained bombing campaign, which I have not seen him commit to here yet. So while the Allied position in the north near Lanchow seems pretty bad, as you get further south, it gets stronger and stronger. So in Burma, we saw some minor bombing at Pegu, which was interesting. He seemed to have caught on that there's a single unit here. And just as I recall, Pegu is clear terrain, so the bombing was very effective here. The Japanese, in turn, were bombing these units, and it looks like the secret's out. So from what I'm gathering, looking at the map here, it looks like DesertWolf is looking to cut the supply to the units near Lashio. So they have this route here, which is a bit disruptive with the Allies being in the hex. I still believe supply can flow through here, but these guys aren't helping it any. But the other supply route would be up this road here. And if you can get these troops down here to here and here, or here, based on the direction that they're moving in, it would effectively block one of the main supply routes for Tangi and the troops in and around Lanchow. So that's what it appears that DesertWolf is trying to do. But the Japanese player, Wirraway, has caught on to this. So now he's throwing bombers at these guys to try to slow them down. And they're low on supply. They have some disruption. But loss-wise, the terrain that they're in is shielding them from really heavy damage from the bombers. So if Wirraway wants to stop these guys, he's going to have to occupy this road and deny it to the Allies. These units in and of themselves aren't very strong, but they are still capable of blocking the road. So hopefully Wirraway sees this, and it does appear that he does, because I see this unit moving this way. He needs to get into these hexes before the Allies do, or he's going to have a main supply route cut. We'll briefly go through here. There's not much to see because Wirraway owns most of all of the Dutch East Indies and all of the Philippines now. He's got all these troops in Bataan that he no longer needs. So who knows where they're going next. And over to the Gilbert Islands, we saw a nice bombing raid on Makin, and it took a decent toll on the defenders there. So from what we're seeing, there appears to be at least 2 Naval Guard units and maybe some supporting units, maybe some engineers or something. But Makin does not seem to be in a great position right now for the Japanese. It's pretty far away from the rest of the marshals. It now has a submarine blockade. It's well within striking range of the Allied bombers at Aurora and at Abemama. Also here too, once he builds that up. So Makin is kind of hanging out there like a sore thumb, and while I still think it would be beneficial to neutralize Nauru because of the bomber presence and the ability to launch aircraft from here, Makin would be easier to take for sure. It's already damaged. We already know that he doesn't have a ton of troops here, and it's close to DesertWolf's supply lines, and it's farther from the Japanese supply lines. So while I still think Nauru would be better, Makin is probably the next location for DesertWolf's conquest of the Gilberts and the Marshall Islands. Probably going to be Makin. If I had to bet, I'd say it was Makin. So that's really it for this turn. It was a quick and easy one, and not every turn's going to be a crazy banger, right? There's going to be some lulls while everybody rests up and get ready to go. And as we get further into the campaign, things just get harder and harder to take, right? And we've got stacking limits. So it takes more time to prepare and get in a position for an attack than you would have in, say, a game like me and Lodro have, where Lodro can bring 8,000 assault value into one hex and bludgeon his way through. No such animal in this campaign. You have to be very deliberate and careful with the units you pick. They have to be trained and ready to go. You have to have lots of support to pull off these attacks. So it's just not going to have crazy activity every single round. But hey, that means you don't have to watch as long, right? Last place we'll check is up here in the Aleutians, because I do see that there's been a lot of recon going on here at Attu. So whatever the case may be, I think DesertWolf is probably getting ready. I'm guessing he's going to use these guys to possibly plan for an invasion of Attu. And then he'll grab these 2 dot bases here. And then he will have fully reconquered the Aleutian Islands. And then there will be no more Japanese present till you get down over to Paramushima. So stay tuned in the future for an attack on Attu by DesertWolf. All that's left to say here is thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you're enjoying this campaign. I really am. It's always great to see a better player than me play the Allies so I can get ideas on what I should be doing. Hopefully you're taking notes too. Catch you guys on the next one.